Hey everyone, thanks for checking out the 2016 PS4 retrospective. In this video we're covering just the physical exclusives that came out at retail. I'm going to get to the digital stuff at some other point, and multi-platform stuff will come in another video, but yeah, let's just get to it. The first game we're going to go over is Digimon Story CyberSleuth. This is a departure from the previous Digimon World style games, and it was more of a traditional RPG that didn't feature the monster raising elements. In the game, you play a hacker who learns to capture Digimon and end up involved in a narrative involving hackers and Digimon causing trouble in both the digital and real world. The turn-based battle system features a 3 Digimon party you can create from over 240 available in the game. There are 4 types of Digimon with 9 different attributes, which make them and their attacks stronger or weaker to other Digimon. Next up is Mega Dimension Neptunia Victory 2. Following Neptunia Mark II and Victory, the 4th main Neptunia game sees Neptunia and Nepgear transported to another dimension, which is a version of their world where there's barely anyone left alive. They meet up with Orange Heart and find a way back to their world to work from both dimensions to go through the main story. The game features the return of the core cast of the series and has a new battle system. There's also a new level of transformation for the CPUs. Really, this is a game just for Neptunia fans, but it's as good an entry point as any other games if you're interested in it. Next up is Nitro plus Blaster's Heroiness Infinite Duel. This is a 2D Doujin fighter, and it's got the typical crazy 2D anime fighting style gameplay that you've come to expect from those games. It's a follow-up to a previous Doujin fighter, Nitro plus Royale Heroiness Duel, that I don't think was ever released in English. The game has 3 attack buttons and 2 action buttons. Aside from your playable fighter, you can also choose 2 support characters to join in for different options. The game has 14 playable characters and 18 support characters. There's some really niche characters in this game. Even I only know like 6 of the playable characters and 1 of the support characters. The most well-known stuff would be Supersonico or Saber from Fate. Next is Gravity Rush Remastered. This is a remastered version of the Vita's third-person action adventure that's worth checking out. The game stars the amnesic shifter Cat, who can alter gravity around herself, which allows for some unique traversal and combat mechanics. While playing, you can suspend gravity and choose a new direction so that you can basically fall that way until you run out of gravity. You do that several times to get around, and it's a really slick way of traversing the world. The game world is made up of a floating city that consists of a series of story missions, side missions, and challenges to take on. There's also shards you can find that can be used to upgrade your stats and abilities. Overall, the cool visual design and unique gameplay make it worth checking out. I think this was an Amazon US exclusive, so if you're in Canada, you may have never seen it at retail. Following that, we get Street Fighter V. The latest Street Fighter game was a full PS4 exclusive, and while it had a decent system for the hardcore competitive Street Fighter players, it offered very little to the casual players on launch. There was a real lack of any single player variety, including no story mode then. Gameplay changes from Street Fighter 4 are mainly in the gauges, the focus attacks are gone, and the new systems revolve around the V gauge, which can be used to trigger V skills, V reversals, and V triggers. There were 16 different playable characters, and that included 4 completely new characters to the series, like Nikali, Rashid, Laura, and Fang. Since launch, there's been 3 seasons of content added with 6 characters each. There may have been more actually by now. But yeah, for those who like to own Street Fighter games physically, it's not really worth it because of that lack of content, but a ton of stuff, including a full cinematic story mode, was added after launch. Next up is the Witch and the Hundred Knight Revival Edition. This is an update to the PS3 action RPG. It features a new area, the Tower of Illusion, where you can sacrifice your weapons to take on different enemies. You can also summon and play as the witch Metalia in this area, and you can use alchemy to upgrade your weapons. Another niche anime style title, Agus of Earth, Protonovus Assault. This is a tactics game with some light sim mechanics by Acquire. The PS4 version launched on the same day as the PS3 version and Vita version over here. The game has you protecting the remaining fortified cities on Earth from monsters that appeared 50 years ago. During the simulation portions, you manage the city by collecting taxes, placing defenses, and purchasing equipment before moving on to the next tactics battle. Next, we get Senran Kagura Estival Versus. Estival Versus is probably the first major release in the ecchi anime-style Ninja Girl beat-em-up series over here. Since it was released on console, it seems like way more copies were produced than the previous games. The game follows up the fully 3D gameplay of the Vita game. In the game, the girls from the 4 ninja high schools are transported to a strange tropical island where they can communicate with their dead friends and family. The island's ruler pits them against each other to determine who will learn the secrets of the island. The story is told throughout the game's main story mode, which is now just one set of missions, instead of having a different set for each school. Gameplay is pretty much the same as the Vita game, however there are now some missions where you're joined by an AI partner. Following that is Republic. Stealth adventure mobile game that I believe was kickstarted. All 5 episodes of the game have been bundled together for the PS4 release. The game takes place in a totalitarian state ruled by the headmaster. At one facility here, they are experimenting on teenagers they call the Precal. When a girl named Hope manages to contact you for support, you do what you can to help. Using the communication and surveillance equipment around the facility, you have to guide Hope as she makes her escape. This game was known for being created by Ryan Payton, who worked with Kojima and was instrumental in MGS4, and also worked on Halo 4. It featured David Hayter and Jennifer Hale voicing the characters, so definitely interesting. I believe there was a release recently that you could play in VR as well, so definitely worth checking out if you're interested. Next, MLB The Show 16. Another year, so just another mention of the Sony exclusive licensed baseball franchise. The game features updates to every mode from the previous game, and apparently made some big updates to the Road to the Show mode, which were great for the time. It also added the new Conquest and Battle Royale modes. I believe this was the last MLB on PS3, and there was no Vita version at all. The last game for the year, Knights of Azure. This is a gothic anime-style action RPG. The combat lets you capture demons and summon them to use their attacks, which gave a lot of different attack options in the game. The story stars the Saint Lilise, who travels to an island to break the curse of the Night Lord. She's joined by her protector and the main character Arnis, who fights off the creatures here to help her complete her task. The game is known for the same-sex relationship between the 2 characters that's revealed as the story progresses. Thanks for checking out this retrospective, and I hope you guys discovered some new games to check out.
It's appreciation time! Reward Mike's hard work by subscribing. Otherwise, we might see you in the next class trial.